Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Thank you guys for always joining me on these guides, these videos, these updates. I really appreciate all of you guys being here. That being said, today I'm going into the new Critical Threat event. I'm going to be showing you more or less a pretty easy way to get the EX2 clear against Reno and Rude and Elena. At first glance, this fight is kind of a doozy considering we have 3 different elemental attributes here that we have to take care of. My first inclination coming into this fight was building kind of a hybrid team that focused on all of these elements. However, as I went through the fight and while experimenting with it a little bit more, I found a much easier way to handle this, guys, right? And this has to do with the enemy's inherent resistances. So if we go to Elena, her inherent resistant is ice, right? Reno's inherent resistant is lightning, and Rude's is fire. So we have a fire resistance in Rude and ice resistance in Elena, right? And a lightning resistance in Reno. Now what I'm getting at is that if you were to bring a team with fire, ice, and wind, then once you kill Reno, your ice character is going to do less damage. Once you kill Elena, your fire character is going to do less damage. But the only element that these characters are not resistant to, and I'm sure you guys are picking up where I'm going with this, is wind, right? So wind is going to be my primary element going into this fight. And essentially, I'm just going to be showing you guys a full wind team that can be used to take down this entire fight. So I'm going to go over this really quick, each of the bosses, then the team build. So here we have Elena, weakness fire, resistance ice. It should be noted that in her immunities, physical attack, magic attack can be broken. All right, take note of that. Elena uses powerful physical fire element attacks. Her physical attack increases and PDEF, MDEF decrease during attack style. Physical attack decreases and physical defense, magic defense increase during defense style, and she can inflict confusion, which can be kind of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. Magic attacks and physical attack up are effective against this enemy, and I'm also going to add to that physical attack down is very effective against this enemy. All right. All of their sigils are X with a diamond sigil on Rude for his Haymaker, but by no means do you need a diamond sigil weapon for this fight. Going into Reno, he has basically no immunities. He can have all his attacks broken and his defenses broken. He uses many lightning element physical attacks and also uses Pyramid to incapacitate a single target. All right, last but not least, we have Rude. His weakness is wind, resistance, fire. He cannot be broken in his offenses, but he can be broken in his defenses. He uses powerful physical earth element abilities. Force gauge Aegis can be depleted with any damage, and uses provoke to provoke its allies by making itself a target, so he can make himself a tank. He does inflict sleep with sweet dreams, but we're going to take care of him before he gets to that. Physical defense down and magic defense down are effective against this enemy. Alright, so let's go over and I'm going to show you guys the team that I put together for this fight. It is going to be made up of Sephiroth, Tifa, and Aerith, right? So I do recommend bringing your strongest wind team into this fight, whether that's Sephiroth or Aerith or Yuffie. Either way, a team of this nature is going to work well. You know, like I said, I make these guides where I'm utilizing a strategy against the weakness of the enemy team. So even if you don't have these same things, if you have roughly something similar in regards, you can more or less make this strategy work for yourself. All right, so the team has an overall power of 247,000 against the recommended of 220,000. I am bringing Sephiroth as a full-blown wind DPS / fire imperiler with the new Flame Dragon Blade from the Ifrit and Bahamut fight. You could also use a Fire Breach instead on him instead of this Aurora. On Tifa, she is going to be running as a healer / physical attack breaker here with the leather gloves. So she's going to be using physical attack down against Elena. All right. And then Aerith over here is going to be our wind magic DPS / wind imperiler / physical defense breaker. All right. So she's going to be really good. You can't, Who can you break? Okay, so you can't break Elena's defenses, but you can break Rude's and Reno's. So Floral Flare is going to work great even against Reno, and then especially against Rude, guys. This weapon is great even if you have a base 5-star copy of it. All right, so to go into the front end of the build, and then I'll go into the back end, Sephiroth is going to be running his Wind Mastery costume along with Ardent Flare right here for his limit break. I do have the OB10 Dark Heavens in the first slot, the Fire Imperil Flame Dragon Blade in the second slot. Tifa will be running her healing costume and Somersault for the physical defense, magic defense break. Life Guards in the first slot as she is our primary healer, and the Leather Gloves in the second slot for the physical attack break. Lastly, we have Aerith over here running the Prism Dress. So however you can slot your third, whether it's a debuffer or a buffer slash wind DPS with a materia blow or etc, etc. But I'm going to be running Aerith, Prism Rod Dress, the Prism Rod in the first slot, and the Floral Rod in the second slot, and lastly Healing Wind for the limit break. In regard to the materias, for Sephiroth, I'm just running a Stat Stick Ruin Rub Blow right here in the first slot. Tifa will be running a Cura. Aerith will be running a Cura as well. Sephiroth will be running an Aurora Blow just for a quick cast if I need it. This is also a really strong physical attack stat stick for me. I do have a Ice Breach on Tifa, so we are covering all 3 of the imperils that we need. 2 of them are going to be with weapons. 1 will be with a materia, which is really going to help the damage over time. On Aerith, we do have a Aurora over here, so a magic wind materia. And lastly, we have 3 X sigils on each of the characters. You don't have to worry about a physical or magic counter. In fact, in this fight, we're not even going to get to the point where they're using these, so I'm not sure if they actually have a counter. So just keep an eye out for that for yourselves. All right, so going into Sephiroth here, Sephiroth is going to have 86,000 power, 6.9k HP, 3.4k physical attack, 118 physical defense, 115 magic defense. His R abilities are as shown here, with physical attack highlighted, attack, and wind potency with the wind mastery. Okay, he does also have some ice resistance there, which is nice against Reno. He's got a lot of R abilities, guys. Now, going into his sub-equips, we have the Torn Wing, a free event weapon. I have Cloud's new Stream Saber right here. And lastly, the Apocalypse for the attack and wind potency right there. Moving over to Tifa, she has 77k power, 9.7k HP, 2.1k physical attack, 1.9k magic attack, 160 physical defense, and 2.2k healing. All right, her R abilities are going to be as shown here for you guys. All right, and here, which I will stop for you guys to check out. And her sub-equipments are going to be the Feather Scatter, the event weapon that boosts HP physical defense, the Canyon Collar, which is a carbon copy of the Feather Scatter, and lastly, the Guard Stick for the really good healing potency on this. Matt's Centipede is also a fantastic weapon for raising healing, and it also goes up to 62. I know I've said that this is the best healing weapon in the game, so thank you to you guys that have pointed out to me that Matt's Centipede can also hit healing stat of 62 in the first slot. Arigatou gozaimashita. Alright, last but not least, we have Aerith Gainsborough here. She has a power of 83,000, 8.4k HP, 2.1k physical attack, 3.1k magic attack, 125 physical defense, and 110 magic defense. Her R abilities are as shown here, highlighting magic attack and wind potency. Alright, she also has a little bit of magic ability potency right there, so she is looking very strong. And her sub-equipments are going to be the Sun Umbrella in the top slot, so slot anything that raises magic attack proficiency there. Then we have the Canyon Collar right here, base 5-star for the magic attack and wind potency. And last but not least, the Arc Sword for the magic attack and the not-so-helpful water resist here. Alright guys, so that is going to make up my team for this fight. Going about the overall strategy of this fight, we're going to take out Rude first, then Reno, then Elena, and I'm going to show you guys with this full win strategy. This fight is not going to be difficult at all, and you're going to have a very easy time taking it out. I think trying to bring multiple elements is just going to complicate things and make it overall harder. All right, so here we are going into the fight against the Turks themselves. I really like this fight, actually. All right, so we're going to switch over to Rude right here. Going to immediately jump over to Aerith. She's going to Floral Flare right here. All right, then Tifa is going to switch to Elena, drop an Omni Strike, and we're going to switch back to Rude. And we're just going to drop as much damage here as we can, while Tifa is debuffing Elena's physical attack to lower the potency of this damage incoming right here. All right, right before it gets to the full charge, we will switch to the healing stance. All right, it does do a fair amount of damage when all three of them are there. All right, so I'm going to get a heal off right here. And then we're just going to go straight back to damage. Aerith is going to imperil the wind right there. All right, there we go. Looking good. Boom. One more imperil on Aerith. And we should be almost there, guys, against Rude. Once you take out one of them, it definitely gets a lot easier. All right, Tifa was stunned, but that's okay. We have our DPS characters right here. And the goal is to just take care of Rude right away. All right, so now we're going to switch to Reno right here. We're not even going to Ice Breach him because we're not bringing ice weapons. I just realized that right now that you don't need that. All right, so here we go. Going into Raging Sphere. And I'm just going to be doing as much damage as I can. Aerith can break Reno's physical defense right here, which is going to help Sephiroth do more damage. All right. And at the meantime, Tifa is going to be breaking Elena's physical attack to lower the damage of this incoming attack, while we are still doing as much damage as we can to Reno right here. All right. Now I'll switch back to Tifa to prepare to heal for this attack. So as you guys can see, it works pretty good with a solid win team. All right, there we go. One healing waves. And then right before they do something right here, I am going to pop the limit breaks. All right, get a somersault off on Reno, which is going to lower his defenses. Sephiroth is going to raise his attack potency right here. And now we are going to basically just bomb Reno down to the ground, guys. All right, as fast as we can, we're going to get rid of him. And once we're down to Elena, it should be more or less pretty chill. All right, there we go. Looking good, looking good. Almost there. Gonna keep healing with Tifa, get everyone as close as we can to max HP. All right, Reno's gonna go down. Everything is looking good right here. And now we are just going to start focusing on the last character. All right, she cannot have her defenses broken, but she can have her attacks broken. So I'm going to be debuffing her with Tifa right here. All right, I'm gonna wait and charge this one up. All right, so here comes the Omni Strike. Now we'll get the Raging Sphere. I'm not sure if we'll get this Gale Strike off or not. We will, and we'll block her cross combo right here. But as you can see, as they go down one at a time, they definitely get significantly easier. And from here, we're just going to focus on damage until the end of the fight. All right, here we go. That's funny that I put all of the breaches and I didn't even need it because I'm making a win team. Alright, so just going to continue doing as much damage as we can, guys. As you can see, the fight gets significantly easier as you beat them. And from here, we should be more or less able to fully take this down. I'm about to pop all my limit breaks and go for the killing shot here, right here in a second. And here we go. Alright guys, so that should basically conclude the Critical Threat EX2 fight against the Turks. Like I said, if you guys don't have anything near this team setup, hit me up in the comments below. I am happy to help you guys put together something that can win. If it is a complex question, come join our Discord. It's called the Curseborn Discord. You can find a link to the description in all of my videos. It looks like my title screen here just switched over. It is a new day, so that being said, guys, I hope this video was helpful to you guys in clearing this fight. It is definitely a fun one. I'm curious how the EX3 is going to look. I think the EX3 should probably be clearable with the same kind of strategy. Let's go back to this fight, even though I just won it. I think that the EX3 will be clearable with this strategy. However, the EX, I was going to say the EX4, the Crash version of this fight, which is dropping on April 17th, I don't know how that's going to look. So I am curious to see what that fight looks like in the future. I'm excited, guys. We haven't had a Crash in a long time, so it is cool to test out all the new parts of these teams and these characters. That being said, if you guys enjoyed this video today, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're keen on future content on this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Alright guys, hope you all have a wonderful night, take care, and peace.